Hey everyone, off the Mike Sports Network here. Haven't gotten a chance to talk about this. A major surprise. We are just over a week removed from the Ohio State Buckeyes winning the college football playoff, the first ever 12-team college football playoff national championship. A remarkable run, winning four straight games from the 8th position after losing to their rival Michigan. They go on a run. They beat Notre Dame to win the national title. And now they've got to fill a defensive coordinator spot because stunningly, and I had heard rumors that Jim Knowles was fishing around at other jobs. I had heard Oklahoma. There were other possibilities out there, but Penn State was after losing Tom Allen, who did a great job as their defensive coordinator, goes off to Clemson. I was like, why would Jim Knowles go leave Ohio State after winning a national title and go to Penn State when Penn State is losing key players? Jalen Reed and Abdul Carter, denied Dennis Sutton. Like, they're losing key players, but they're bringing a bunch of key pieces on the offensive side of the ball. Both their running backs, Drew Aller's coming back. They obviously lose Tyler Warren, which is a big deal. Tyler Warren's this all-world player. But Jim Knowles, a Pennsylvania native, grew up in Philly, takes a huge uptick in pay, $3 million a year to be the defensive coordinator at Penn State. Leaves Ohio State. It's a stunning move that shakes up a lot of things at Ohio State. It may not be the last bit of movement for the Buckeyes because Chip Kelly may be fishing around for an NFL job, potentially at the offensive coordinator position, depending on what's available. So this could get really hairy for Ohio State moving forward. The first part of this is, am I mad at Jim Knowles? No, I'm not. Okay. Yes, it is weird to go in conference and go to a rival like Penn State, but he is from the area. He got a huge payday. I'm not going to fault the guy for taking more money. I understand it. So if you're an Ohio State fan, look, the guy helped bring you a national championship. At this point, I don't really give a shit. Okay. Like, had this been like, they lose to Michigan and then they lose in the playoff and then he leaves, that would have been a much worse look because it would have looked like he was running away from this thing. He won a national title. I'm not mad about it. Yeah, it's a little bit weird considering some of the names that I told you that are leaving Penn State. And like, some of the names that are staying in Columbus, like obviously Caleb Downs is coming back. Davis Igbinosun is coming back. Sonny Styles is coming back on the defense. So Ohio State's going to be loaded defensively. This is going to be a pretty high caliber, opening. They may promote their safeties coach, Matt Guerrieri, I think is his name. He was talked heavily at the celebration on Monday. They could go get Jeff Hafley, bring him back for the NFL. He's with the Green Bay Packers. He was their defensive coordinator, did a really good job. Like, Ohio State's not going to have trouble finding somebody, but I don't fault Jim Knowles for leaving. What this does represent is it's going to be a challenge for Ryan Day to a lot of this goodwill has been built up with him. He's going to have to figure out, especially if he loses Chip Kelly, he might have to fill both coordinators again. But this is what happens when you're good. You start losing people and getting poached off. What's weird about this is they win a national title and he goes to Penn State, which normally would probably be losing out on top level recruits and coaches to a school like Ohio State. So this is, like I said, the regional ties to it make a lot of sense. So I'm not mad at Jim Knowles for this. But it's going to represent a challenge for Ohio State. Obviously, they have the best player on the defensive side of the ball, the best offensive player in Jeremiah Smith going into next season. And the Buckeyes are going to be an early favorite to win it all, but they've got to figure out the quarterback. They got to figure out their running back position. They got to replace some defensive players, but Ohio State's not short on talent. They'll be fine. What this does for the Big Ten, it makes it really interesting next year because, the team up north is going to be coming. They bring in a new quarterback. They'll have somebody that can throw a forward pass, so they'll be fine. Oregon's going to come back. This Big Ten race is going to be interesting. And Penn State bringing back literally almost every significant piece on the offensive side of the ball, not named Tyler Warren. And you get Jim Knowles as your defensive coordinator. If James Franklin doesn't win the national title next year, I don't know when he's going to win it. It's setting up well for Penn State to potentially, win the whole thing. But Ohio State's going to be there. This conference is loaded. Everybody laughed that the Big Ten was overrated. I completely disagree. I just listed you a bunch of teams. USC, if Lincoln Riley can somehow right the ship, they could be coming. Like Wisconsin at some point is going to be back. Like Nebraska's got Matt Rule, and they finally made a bowl. Illinois had a 10-win season this year. Like the Big Ten is loaded, and this is a seismic move because Penn State makes a financial investment and a statement in their defense after they've shuffled through coordinators, Manny Diaz, then Tom Allen, now Jim Knowles, who was in demand and was possibly going to potentially go to Oklahoma. He goes to Penn State. Now you're wondering, okay, how is Ohio State going to replace their defensive coordinator, even though they got talent? And then who knows what's going to happen with Chip Kelly? He may go back to the NFL at a coordinator spot, or he may get a better job. I don't think he's going to be a head coach in college again. It just seems like being a head coach in college doesn't have the luster that it used to, unless you have really like the chops to like, get into the portal, pay people, and like all this other stuff. So this is a fascinating story to watch, considering Ohio State just won the national title and they already have lost a key piece, their defensive coordinator, to a rival. So anyway, a lot more coming here on the channel. We'll have Super Bowl coverage over the next couple weeks. Anyway, I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.